The instructions of Shuruppag. My son, let me give you instructions, you should pay attention. The instructions of an old man are precious, you should comply with them. You should not make a well in your field, people will cause damage on it for you. You should not place your house next to a public square, there is always a crowd there. You should not vouch for someone, that man will have a hold on you, and you yourself, you should not let somebody vouch for you, that man will despise you. You should not loiter about where there is a quarrel, you should not let the quarrel make you a witness. You should not let yourself involve in a quarrel. You should not cause a quarrel, stand aside from a quarrel. You should not steal anything, you should not break into a house, you should not wish for the money chest. A thief is a lion, but after he has been caught, he will be a slave. My son, you should not commit robbery, you should not cut yourself with an axe. You should not make a young man your best friend. You should not play around with a married young woman, the slander could be serious. My son, you should not sit alone in a chamber with a married woman. You should not pick a quarrel, you should not disgrace yourself. You should not tell lies, you should not boast, then your words will be trusted. You should not deliberate for too long. You should not eat stolen food with a thief. You should not sink your hand into blood. After you have apportioned the bones, you will be made to restore the ox, you will be made to restore the sheep. You should not speak improperly, later it will lay a trap for you. You should not scatter your sheep into unknown pastures. You should not travel during the night, it can hide both good and evil. You should not buy an onager, it lasts only until the end of the day. You should not have sex with your slave girl, she will chew you up. You should not curse strongly, it rebounds on you. You should not drive away a debtor, he will be hostile towards you. You should not establish a home with an arrogant man, he will make your life like that of a slave girl. You will not be able to travel through any human dwelling without being shouted at, there you go. There you go. You should not undo the garden's reed fence, restore it. Restore it, they will say to you. My son, you should not use violence. You should not commit rape on someone's daughter, the courtyard will learn of it. You should not drive away a powerful man, you should not destroy the outer wall. You should not drive away a young man, you should not make him turn against the city. The eyes of the slanderer always move around as shiftily as a spindle. You should never remain in his presence, his intentions should not be allowed to have an effect on you. You should not boast in beer halls like a deceitful man. Having reached the field of manhood, you should not jump with your hand. The warrior is unique, he alone is the equal of many. You too is unique, he alone is the equal of many. With your life you should always be on the side of the warrior, with your life you should always be on the side of you two. Shuruppag gave these instructions to his son. Shuruppag, the son of Ubaratutu, gave these instructions to his son Sura. A second time, Shuruppag gave instructions to his son. Shuruppag, the son of Ubaratutu, gave instructions to his son Sura. My son, let me give you instructions, you should pay attention. Sura, let me speak a word to you, you should pay attention. Do not neglect my instructions. Do not transgress the words I speak. The instructions of an old man are precious, you should comply with them. The palace is like a mighty river. Its middle is goring bulls, what flows in is never enough to fill it, and what flows out can never be stopped. When it is about someone else's bread, it is easy to say, I will give it to you, but the time of actual giving can be as far away as the sky. If you go after the man who said, I will give it to you, he will say, I cannot give it to you, the bread has just been finished up. Property is something to be expanded, but nothing can equal my little ones. The artistic mouth recites words, the harsh mouth brings litigation documents, the sweet mouth gathers sweet herbs. The garrulous fills his bread bag, the haughty one brings an empty bag and can fill his empty mouth only with boasting. The imprudent decrees fates, the shameless one piles up things in another's lap. I am such that I deserve admiration. A weak wife is always seized by fate. If you hire a worker, he will share the bread bag with you. He eats with you from the same bag, and finishes up the bag with you. Then he will quit working with you and, saying, I have to live on something, he will serve at the palace. You tell your son to come to your home. You tell your daughter to go to her women's quarters. You should not pass judgment when you drink beer. You should not worry unduly about what leaves the house. Heaven is far, earth is most precious, but it is with heaven that you multiply your goods, and all foreign lands breathe under it. At harvest time, at the most priceless time, collect like a slave girl, eat like a queen, my son, to collect like a slave girl, to eat like a queen, this is how it should be. Who insults can hurt only the skin, greedy eyes however, can kill. The liar, shouting, tears up his garments. Insults bring advice to the wicked. To speak arrogantly is like an abscess, a herb that makes the stomach sick. My words of prayer bring abundance. Prayer is cool water that cools the heart. Shuruppag gave these instructions to his son. Shuruppag, the son of Ubaratutu, gave these instructions to his son Sura. A third time, Shuruppag gave instructions to his son. Shuruppag, the son of Ubaratutu, gave instructions to his son Sura. My son, let me give you instructions, you should pay attention. Sura, let me speak a word to you, you should pay attention. Do not neglect my instructions. Do not transgress the words I speak. You should not beat a farmer's son, he has constructed your embankments and ditches. You should not buy a prostitute, she is a mouth that bites. You should not buy a house-born slave, he is a herb that makes the stomach sick. You should not buy a free man, he will always lean against the wall. You should not buy a palace slave girl, she will always be the bottom of the barrel. You should rather bring down a foreign slave from the mountains, or you should bring somebody from a place where he is an alien, my son, then he will pour water for you where the sun rises and he will walk before you. He does not belong to any family, so he does not want to go to his family, he does not belong to any city, so he does not want to go to his city. He will not be presumptuous with you. Fate is a wet bank, it can make one slip. The elder brother is indeed like a father, the elder sister is indeed like a mother. Listen therefore to your elder brother, and you should be obedient to your elder sister as if she were your mother. You should not work using only your eyes, you will not multiply your possessions using only your mouth. The negligent one ruins his family. The need for food makes some people ascend the mountains, it also brings traitors and foreigners. The married man is well equipped, the unmarried makes his bed in a haystack. He who wishes to destroy a house will go ahead and destroy the house, he who wishes to raise up will go ahead and raise up. By grasping the neck of a huge ox, you can cross the river. By moving along at the side of the mighty men of your city, my son, you will certainly ascend. When you bring a slave girl from the hills, she brings both good and evil with her. The good is in the hands, the evil is in the heart. The heart does not let go of the good, but the heart cannot let go of the evil either. As if it were a watery place, the heart does not abandon the good. May the boat with the evil sink in the river. May his waterskin split in the desert. A loving heart maintains a family, a hateful heart destroys a family. To have authority, to have possessions and to be steadfast are princely divine powers. You should submit to the respected, you should be humble before the powerful. My son, you will then survive against the wicked. You should not choose a wife during a festival. Her inside is illusory, her outside is illusory. The silver on her is borrowed, the jewelry on her is borrowed. The dress on her is borrowed, the linen garment on her is borrowed. You should not buy a vicious bull. One appoints a reliable woman for a good household. You should not buy a donkey at the time of harvest. A woman with her own property ruins the house. A drunkard will drown the harvest. Nothing at all is to be valued, but life should be sweet. You should not serve things, things should serve you. My son. You should not abduct a wife, you should not make her. The wet nurses in the women's quarters determine the fate of their lord. You should not speak arrogantly to your mother, that causes hatred for you. You should not question the words of your mother and your personal God. The mother, like you two, gives birth to the man. The father, like a god, makes him bright. The father is like a god, his words are reliable. The instructions of the father should be complied with. Without suburbs a city has no center either. My son, a field situated at the bottom of the embankments, be it wet or dry, is nevertheless a source of income. It is inconceivable that something is lost forever. For the shepherd, he stopped searching, he stopped bringing back the sheep. For the farmer, he stopped plowing the field. This gift of words is something which soothes the mind. These are the instructions given by Shuruppag, the son of Ubaratutu. Praise be to the lady who completed the great tablets, the maiden Nisaba, that Shuruppag, the son of Ubaratutu gave his instructions.